Alrighty. Hi guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat here if you can hear me if we're all good. I want to make sure you guys can hear me before I start yapping away. Utilize the chat here if you can. The live chat right here on YouTube. Also, if you guys are in the Slack chat, you can utilize that as well in the questions section of the Slack chat. We'll be utilizing the Slack chat and this chat here. Also, if you guys don't have access to the Slack community, let me know and I will add you. See that here? Yes, can hear you. Let me know if you don't have access to Slack. Please send me an email. I'm putting in the chat here. There we go. Okay. We have 12 people now. Where are you guys from? I want to know where you're tapping into this call from. I always love to hear where people are from. 13 people. How do you upload it? Again, if you're utilizing the Slack during this call, please use the question section. It's just a lot easier for me to go back and forth. Looking at because I have my phone next to me, looking at my phone and then looking at this chat here. Vegas, Georgia, LA, Nashville. So cool. I don't live in like one area. So if you guys aren't familiar, I'm from Tampa, Florida. That's where my family lives. But I'm currently living in an RV, or I guess traveling in an RV. We're in California right now. We just left Yosemite. So that's where we're at now. Okay, so we are going to get started if everything's good to go. Today is the third call. I appreciate you guys for being here on a Monday. We're going over pricing and rate negotiation. So today, let me just pull everything and make sure it's good. Okay. So right now you are currently at the halfway point based on everything that we've gone over already, between day one when we started all the calls up to this point. So most people who have started this challenge, like in the very beginning, are gone by this point, like trickled off. That's totally fine. It's normal. But you're still here on a Monday night. So that's very cool. So let's talk about getting paid, right? Everything leads up to this point. Getting paid as a creator, that's what we all want to achieve. Whether that's part-time, 1 gig, full-time, whatever it is, we want to land deals, right? So we're going to go over why pricing is everything. We're going to completely connect the dots so it all makes sense. So on day one, we went over portfolio, building your portfolio, showing brands your work, how to get all of that put together, right? So from there, we built your pitch. That's basically the knock on the door to get all of your examples to the brand so that they can actually see what you're capable of doing for them. But here's the thing that nobody prepares you for. You send the pitch, right? The brand replies, they're interested, and then they ask the 4 words that make every new creator's stomach drop. What's your rate? Or I guess 3 words. Yeah, that's kind of a nerve-wracking question because you're like, okay, what am I supposed to say? I don't know what my rates are. I don't really know where I stand. So that's what we're going to go over in this call. That is the point where some creators fall apart because it is nerve-wracking, right? Creators do the hard part. They build a portfolio. They send the scary pitch. They get a yes, and then they panic, and then they say a number that's a fraction of what they're actually worth. So they'll land a deal, they'll lose money, all that work, and they'll leave 60, 70, 80% of the income on the table. So we don't want to do that at all. So I want you to hear me when I say this. Pricing, I hear a train. I don't know if that's really loud for you guys to hear, but it's loud for me. Pricing is not the boring admin part of UGC. Pricing is the lever. Oh, I see someone said still here from day one. I love that. That's amazing. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you guys being here. So that's very cool. So, like I said, pricing is the lever. It's the difference between a creator making $500 a month and a creator making $5,000 a month with the exact same skills, the exact same portfolio, and the exact same number of deals. The only difference is that they know what to charge and that they're not afraid to say it. So, for real context, I've personally done thousands of brand deals over 6+ years. I've earned $184,000 of UGC income last year, and this year I'm at about $70,000 of UGC. So the single biggest thing that has moved those numbers was not the talent and it wasn't luck, it was the pricing. It was learning what to charge and learning to say it without flinching. So I always say this, those are my numbers from my business. Results aren't typical. This isn't like a get rich quick thing. What you earn depends on your effort and your niche and how consistently you show up, right? The skill of pricing, that's the part that I can give you tonight and go over it because it's learnable. So does all of that make sense? Because we're gonna jump into that. Let me know if all that makes sense before we move forward. Okay, perfect. So here's what you're gonna be walking out with tonight. 3 things. One of them is the actual numbers, the real 2026 rates, by experience level, by deliverable, not vague, like charge your worth nonsense. Actual dollar figures that you can screenshot and use this week. The second one is the usage rights multiplier. This is the one that almost nobody teaches. It's the single biggest way to multiply your income on the same video, like on a single video. When that clicks tonight, it's going to change how you price forever. So we'll go over what that looks like too. The third thing is, excuse me, the negotiation scripts, like what to actually say. When a brand asks for your rate, exactly what to say. When they tell you like, oh, that's too high, and exactly how to never freeze or undercharge in that moment. Again, like word for word, you're going to know what to say. So let's lock in, get your notes app open, your notebook, whatever you need, and we're going to get to work. So the number one pricing mistake that people make, we're going to go into that because that's a huge one. So let's see here. I see in the chat. Kristen, your question. I will be providing a document. Yeah, I'll be providing that, a PDF. I'll put that in the Slack. I'll also email it to you guys too. So yeah, you'll have that. And also you'll have this video that you can look over after the call as well. I'll send you that link. You might be covering this, but been seeing UGC creators talk about selling bulk video packages. Yeah, I'm going to go over that too. Saying things are moving more in that direction. I'm going to go over, yeah, this call will cover that. Let me see this. Okay. So the number one pricing mistake, the thing that keeps creators broke even when you're booking deals, is your pricing time, when you should be pricing the value. So let me show you what I mean. The broke creator math goes like this. You'll say something like, okay, this video will take me 2 hours to film and edit. So what's fair for 2 hours? I guess $50, right? You're thinking you price it like an hourly job. But the brand is not buying your 2 hours. Does that make sense? The brand does not care that it took you 2 hours. The brand is buying a piece of content that they're going to run as a paid ad and make them or save them way, way more than they pay you. Did that make sense a little bit? I'll go into it more. But they were about to pay a production agency like $2,000 and wait 3 weeks for something that looks like an ad, like looks like an actual polished ad that you see on TV or on a YouTube ad when you're watching YouTube or Netflix or what have you. That would convert like garbage, or they can pay you for you to hand them something authentic that actually performs fast. So that is the value, and that's what they're actually paying for. Does that make sense? That is like a huge reason why UGC is doing so well and why brands are pouring more and more money into it, because as we advance more in the technology era and AI and everything, like they still want to hear from real people even more so. So when you charge $50, you're not being humble. You're telling the brand that my content isn't worth much. And here's the worst part. If you say that, they'll believe you. Like, I have seen, like, some brands have pitched me, like, come into my email and have asked me like such a low price for an outrageous amount of work. Like, to the point where it's almost laughable. But I get every brand has their own rate, budget, all those things. But you have to get to a point where you have some respect for yourself and know when to say yes, know when to say no, and know when to negotiate in this business. So low price doesn't get you more deals. It gets you worse clients who treat you worse and pay you less, and it locks you into a number that you're going to have to fight to climb out of for the next year. So are undercharging by like six, not a little. That's a lot. I see someone said buffering. Is it buffering for anybody else? Can you guys hear me okay? Before I continue, I just want to make sure that the connection's okay. Okay, we good? Okay. All right. A little bit. Is it laggy or is it in real time? I'm back. Okay. So we're gonna go over knowing your numbers and what to charge as a creator. So I put together a little PDF, but let me pull that up. Fine for me. Okay. A tiny bit of market context because it matters for what you charge. The UGC industry is growing like crazy, like an insane amount. In 2026, the vast majority of brands are starting to increase their UGC budgets, and a lot of them by 50% or more, which is really significant. Brands that paid $150 for a video 2 years ago are now paying $400 to $600 for the same thing now, to kind of put it into perspective. So if you're quoting old numbers, you're leaving money on the table every single month. So we're going to price to the 2026 market now moving forward. So a quick honest note though, these are real market ranges for what I'm seeing across my own deals and across the creators that I work with. They're not a promise of what you'll earn though. It's directly related to like the effort you put in, the brands you pitch to, the negotiating, all that. So I can't like promise anything, but I'm just going off of my own experience and what I've seen other creators land. So I want to go into the PDF. Let me just share that with you and make sure you guys can see it. Let me pull it up really quick so you kind of have a visual of what I mean. It is right. I believe it's this one. Okay. Can you see this? Let me know if you guys can see this on my screen when I'm sharing. It should say the usage rights multiplier. Yes. Yep. Okay. I think this is the right one I'm supposed to be sharing with you right now. Oh, no. All right. We're a bit early. I will share it in a sec. Okay. So most of you right here are probably in the first 6 months. Let me know in the chat where you guys are. I'll zoom in a little when I share it again. I was a bit too early. Let me know where you're at in your UGC journey right now, like time-wise, whether it's like a month, a week, 6 months, whatever. Let me know in the chat. But I would assume that most of you are probably in like the beginning stages, building the portfolio, finding your style. So let's see here. First month brand new, still putting less than a month, 2 weeks. Okay. So these are probably where your numbers are going to be. Beginner rates per deliverable. A short form video, 15 to 30 seconds, is $100 to $200 per video. A long form video, 60 seconds or more, $150 to $300. Say a photo set, about 5 images, 75 to 150 for that whole set together. A product review would be like $100 to $175. An unboxing video would be about 75 to 150. But here's the rule that I want tattooed in your brain. You don't go below $75 for any deliverable ever. Like, ever. I don't care how new you are. Below 75 is not worth your time, and it sets a precedent that you will fight to climb out of for the next 12 months. So 75 is the absolute floor. Yeah, I will share the template. 75 is the floor. Okay. Put that in your brain, leave it there, remember it forever. So I know some of you even saying like $150 out loud feels terrifying right now, and that's completely normal. That's exactly what we're practicing tonight on this call before you go into the real conversation. The number gets easier to say every single time you say it. I know I helped my mom I'll be sharing the template with you guys. I helped my mom build her portfolio and land her first paid deal. And I think her first deal was $150. And she was like, Gianna, like, this is, I don't believe it. Like, this is too good to be true. And I'm like, believe it when the money lands in your account. And then she gets a PayPal notification and it says $150. And she's like, oh my God, and it was in her first month. I just thought that was funny. I thought it should share, but it is absolutely possible. So keep that in your mind. So now I want to show you where this goes, because this is the motivating part. This is your next 12 months if you do decide to keep going on this journey. Once you're 6 to 12 months in with 10 or 15 solid portfolio pieces and a few testimonials, your rates can double. That short form video that was $100 now is $250 to $500. That long form video, $400 to $800. And here's the big unlock at this stage: retainers. A brand pays you a set amount every single month for a set number of videos. And at that mid stage, that's typically $2,000 to $4,000 a month recurring. Like, you could sign a contract with a brand that's like, we'll lock you in for 6 months for X amount of videos and we'll pay you $2,000 a month. So you're like, great. I know that I'm going to be getting $2,000 a month for the next 6 months. And during that 6-month period, I can use that time to find more retainers to like build up a more consistent income. Retainers are great. I love retainers. That's when this stops feeling like hustling for scraps and starts feeling like a business. So the top tier, 12 months plus, real ad performance data, short form videos run $500 to $1,500 each, retainers $4,000 to $8,000 a month and up. This is where 5-figure brand months stop being a fancy thing and just become a normal Tuesday. And again, that's the ceiling that I've seen. That's not a guarantee. So some creators get there in a year, some take longer, some build it as a nice side income and never really go full time with it. That's a totally valid choice too. It really just does depend on what you're deciding to do with UGC. But this is what I need you to see. The jump from a $100 video to a $500 video is not a talent jump. It's the same skills. It's the portfolio, it's your positioning, and it's the pricing confidence. The gap is closable. A lot of you are way closer than I think you might think. So let me show you what these numbers actually add up to. So 10 short form videos in a month at $500, my words today, $500 each, that's $5,000 a month. Or one retainer at $4,000 plus 2 one-off videos, that's $5,000. The people hitting 10K plus months consistently, they're mostly running 2 or 3 retainers with smart usage rights pricing on top of that, And usage rights is exactly what we're talking about next because it's the part that doubles everything. So I want to see in the chat, if you guys are comfortable, what your goal is, like income wise. What would be a life-changing amount that you would want to see from UGC, whether that's monthly, yearly, collabs that you want to land. I want to see if you're comfortable sharing what your goals are before we move over to the next part. I know for me at least, I wanted to I wanted to be able to travel with my boyfriend because he was doing travel nursing at the time, and I wanted so badly to at first land a deal and then land like $5,000 a month and then hit 10. So those are the goals for me. I think it's possible. Let's see. Goal 5 to 10K per month, and okay, 15K, 5 to 10K. A lot of you guys are saying 5 to 10, 15 to 20. 5,000 a month would be great. Will you be able to give Alyssa best friends to the beginner? 5 to 10K, 4K, 3K. Okay, you guys, this is very doable. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 5 to 10K. That's great. Okay, moving forward. So you have the base numbers, but here's the thing. The base rate is only half of the income. Most creators charge the base and then just stop. I know I made that mistake a lot, and I left a lot of money on the table, so I want to teach it to you guys so that you don't make that mistake too. They'll leave the bigger half sitting on the table, like I said. So let me show you the other half. Now I'm going to share my screen and show you what I wanted to show you before. Okay, so let's show you the usage rights multiplier. I think it's this one, share. Okay, so you said you want me to zoom in. I don't know if, I think that's the most I can zoom in so that you can. Is this okay? Is that zoomed in enough? Yes. Let me know if that looks okay for you guys. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the chat. All good? All good. Okay. So what are usage rights? You've probably heard this term all over the internet, right? It's the single biggest, I want to say, income lever in all of UGC. And some people just don't teach it. So when you walk out of this call, I want you to know what it is. So you have a base rate for you to create the content. Usage rights are separate. They pay for how the brand gets to use the content, and how they can use it can be worth way more than the video that they pay you to create it itself. Does that make sense? So think about it this way. The brand is using your video as one organic post on their page that reaches a few thousand people maybe. They take that same video running as an ad, as a paid ad, on multiple platforms for 90 days with real ad dollars behind it. Like they're pouring money into this ad so that it can get more exposure and therefore more sales. That video can then be seen by millions of people and directly drive sales. Same video, it's just there's money behind it and they're running the ad for 90 days. That adds a wildly different value to the brand. So it should be wildly different money to you. Does that make sense? If you charge the same price, whether they post it once or run it as a 6-figure ad campaign, you're giving away almost the most valuable thing that you own for free. So that is the importance of usage rights. So here's my framework in this document, in this PDF here. You have organic only 30 days. That's your base rate included. So organic only, they posted to their page. I think that'll be 300. Organic 90 days, you add 15% of that base rate fee. Then you have paid ads, one platform, 30 days, add 50% of your base fee. Paid ads, they're running the ad on multiple platforms for 90 days. Like if they're running it on Meta, if they're running it on TikTok, That would be multiple platforms for 90 days. You add 100%, so you double it. Then we have whitelisting or Spark ads. And if you're not familiar with what those are, that's when they run ads from your handle, like your social media. Say if they're running it from your Instagram, it has your face, your name. You add 50 to 75%. And if they want a full buyout of your video, that means they own it forever. They can use it anywhere they want. I would add 200%, tripling your rate minimum. So let me put this into a better perspective for you, because those numbers don't really mean anything until you see it. So say you've got a $300 video, beginner rate, nothing fancy. The brand wants it organic only, $300, cool, leave it here. Same video, same shot, same edit, you do zero extra work, but now they want to run it as a paid ad across multiple platforms for 90 days. That's not $300 anymore. That's now $600. You just doubled your money for the exact same video because of where they want to use it and what they want to do with that video. Are you guys following? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense, and I will keep going. I know this can get a little bit confusing. I know these numbers were so confusing for me in the beginning, so please let me know if you're following, or if you have any questions and you need me to slow down. I'm happy to do that as well. But if we're good to go to move forward, I will also do that. Just let me know. Making sense? Making sense? Cool. Okay, moving forward. I just said the buy. Oh, okay. So say they want to buy it out completely, own it forever. You'd probably hear the term perpetual usage. That means that they want to buy it and own it forever. That would be $900 from this $300. So $300, $600, $900, same video. You don't have to re-edit anything. You don't have to do anything extra. You just have to have the conversation with the brand as to what they're doing with your video. The only thing that changed is that you knew to ask about usage and you knew what to charge for it. So this is how two creators with identical portfolios and identical skills end up making completely different money. One of them charges the base and says, thank you. The other price is the usage, and I want you to be the second creator. Cool. So I will share this with you guys in the Slack chat, but the one rule on usage that protects you is that if a brand does not bring up usage, you assume organic only, 30 days, and you price for that. Then the second that they say, oh, and we want to run this as an ad, that's a whole new conversation and a bigger number. So now never let paid usage sneak in under an organic rate. Always specify it in writing. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I don't want that to happen to you guys. I've seen it happen so many times before, where if a brand, like, you just don't want to get caught in that space. You want to specify, whether that's you or the brand, you want to be on the same wavelength, that you know exactly what you're being paid for and exactly where your content's going. One more click lever I want to go over. Your niche matters too. If you're niching down, beauty, fashion, food, lifestyle, that's the baseline. That's most of you, totally fine. But if you can credibly create for the higher margin spaces like tech, finance, those pay roughly 1.5 to 2 times the baseline because their customers are worth more, so they can afford more, but you don't have to chase it. If you ever get bored of beauty brands, know that there's a whole other lane over there that pays more. It really just, like, you'll start to see these things when you start pitching. You'll start to pay attention to how, like, the different quarters work, like Q1 through Q4. But that's like way down the road, so I'm not going to get into that now. But you've got the numbers, you've got the multiplier. Now, how do you actually say it without your voice shaking? That's the next part. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm going to keep moving on from here. I will answer your questions more towards the end, but if there's anything relevant right now, I can touch on that now. But we're going to go over negotiating and how that should all go. The first move is that conversation, the negotiating. There's always room to negotiate. So we want to get used to that. Whenever you can, though, let the brand name a number first, because here's what happens. A brand reaches out, or you pitch to them, you're excited, they ask what's your rate, and you blurt out the lowest number that you can think that you can get away with. And so often that number is way below what they had budgeted. So they would have happily paid more, but you just left it on the table because you spoke first. So instead of immediately giving a number, you flip it to a question and you say something like, I'd love to put together the right package for you. Do you have a budget in mind for this campaign? Or something like, happy to share my rates. It depends a bit on the deliverables and usage. What were you thinking for the scope of this, right? Instead of just being like, oh, $80. It's like, okay, you blurted out the number, but you don't know if they're looking for paid ad usage or just organic, like you don't know. So you want to make sure that you're having that conversation before you jump into that. Olivia said, is this usually happening on a Zoom call versus being in an email? Olivia, can you specify what you mean? Are you talking about this live call? I'm not sure what you mean. So 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you a budget. The brand will tell you a budget, and it's usually higher than what you were about to say. Now, you're negotiating from their number, not your fear. That one move alone has made me personally thousands of dollars, so you want to get comfortable with doing that. The second move here that we're going to be moving into is the 3-tier rate card. When you do give numbers, never give just one number. You want to give them 3, so they have options. Olivia said, when you're negotiating with them, are you going back and forth on an email or on a call with them? Oh, negotiating is usually email. Yeah, that's where that happens. Sometimes you can jump on a call with brands, but it's very rare that you're like having to go back and forth on like a video call. Like, it's not like the car dealership, where you're like trying to negotiate down the sales price of the car. But yeah, this is happening in an email. I'm glad you guys asked that question. Most of like 99% of the work before you even make the video for a brand is just all back and forth in email. That's just kind of how this business works. Yeah. Okay. So the 3-tier rate card, like I said, when you do give numbers to a brand, don't give them just one number, give them 3 numbers. The rate card is this. You offer 3 options every single time. Option 1 is just a single video. And I would start with just your price for an organic one. Option 2 is a small package, like 3 videos at a slight discount. So you'd go a little bit cheaper per video than like your base rate if you're going to be doing 3. So if you're offering 3 videos, it wouldn't be, if your base rate for one video is $300 and then you are offering a small package, it wouldn't be 300 times 3. It would be like 280 times 3 or 275 times 3. Option 3 would be a monthly retainer. This would be your best per video value because you'd get more money. They would get more content. It's just a better deal. And then you might be able to talk them into a retainer opportunity. So why 3 options? 2 reasons. One is that it makes you look established and professional, like someone who's done this before. And 2, this is the psychology. When you give 3 options, the brand stops asking yes or no and starts asking, okay, which one? You've quietly changed the whole conversation. And most people don't pick the cheapest and they don't pick the most expensive. They pick in the middle. So you build your rate card. So the middle option is exactly the deal that you wanted all along. You're guiding them gently to the yes that you want. Psychology. It works great. And the bonus here, the retainer option plants a seed in their brain. Because maybe they weren't even thinking about that. Maybe they just wanted one video, but then they're like, wait, this creator like is putting ideas in my brain and I kind of like it. It could benefit our brand. Let's think about it and consider it. Even if they book a single video now, you've put a we could work together every month in their head. And that's how one-off deals turn into recurring income. So I do have another PDF I want to share. But in the chat, have any of you had any conversations with brands yet? Have you landed any deals? What kind of, where are you at with that in your experience as of yet? If you're not anywhere, that's totally fine. I just was curious. Let me see while I pull up this other PDF. 3-tier rate card template. Let's see, we have a question here. Do you have or do you mind sharing an example email that you offer brand 3 price options? Do you have? I can put that in the PDF. Should you always offer 3 options even on the first order with them? I would try it. Like, so you can see how the conversation goes, but I personally don't think it would hurt. I've done it before, and I don't think it can hurt because what's the worst they can say? No, or yes to one of the options, you know? And if you're pitching to so many brands, it's really just like throwing something at a wall and seeing what's going to stick. So I think it's something that you can do in the beginning and just kind of see how it goes from there. I've had companies reach out and give free product in exchange for content. Okay, I will go over that. Giving free product in exchange for content isn't terrible when you're first starting because it gives you an opportunity to create content, to add to your portfolio and show them examples. And also if you just want to get free stuff, you know, like for me, I wanted a Beast blender and I didn't want to buy one, so I got one for free. That was an exchange, but yeah, I got offered $500 for 3 videos and they ghosted me. They ghosted you? Did you have a contract? Oh boy. I had a brand say they were interested, but it was a gifting. I prompted a negotiation for pay silence. Yeah, that will happen. that happens to me too. I got a reply to a pitch, but they said they don't have a budget right now to do a collab, but that they would like to send me a box of their samplers as a token of appreciation. That will happen too. And again, if you want the gifting, that's totally fine. And you can use that to make more content for your portfolio, kind of use it as an opportunity to do that. But I would try to keep pitching and try to land more paid stuff. I had one gift that I put on my personal page, reached out to a couple of companies, but they weren't interested. I would just keep pitching and keep perfecting your craft. I get a lot of people that don't respond to me either, so it's totally normal. And negotiating, can you charge more to make videos in different languages if you are bilingual? I think that you could, because it would be more content. Like you'd have to do one in one language, one in another. So yeah, I'm personally not bilingual, but if you are, I think so. Yeah, I would bring that up in your pitching to them and like let them know that you are bilingual and see if that's something that they're interested in. One of the companies said if I share my link, I can make $20 for sale for my link, which is cool. Yeah, that's considered affiliate marketing. So that's another cool thing to have if you do utilize social media. Okay, so I was pulling up a PDF and then I got sidetracked. Do I ever provide just clips for them to edit? Yeah, that's called raw footage. I do think I will go over that too. That would be if you're the thing with raw footage is that like they can do whatever they want with it, but you'd have to put the same stuff in play there. Like you're going to take my raw footage, so I'm going to charge you for that, but also where are you using my raw footage, right? So you kind of do it the same way, like charge a base for your raw footage and then have that conversation about where it's going. But yes, I have just sent raw footage to brands and then they've edited it. Yeah, that happens a lot. Okay, so I'm pulling up usage UGC rates and usage rates guide. Okay. I think I'll be sharing this with you guys later. I have it pulled up though. Okay, so we're moving into any thoughts on videos with tagging the company and they repost my videos to their socials. That's not really like, that's not a collab. That's just kind of exposure. I do that a lot with, I work with TLF, the clothing brand, as like an affiliate, and I'll post content of like me working out in their clothes and they'll sometimes repost it. That's just for exposure. That helps though to get more exposure to you. When you send raw, you're sending them as separate clips, correct? Yes. Yeah, but a brand will usually specify if they want the raw footage. Okay. So now let's move into if the brand says that it's too high, like your rate's too high, like, oh, that's a bit out of our budget, right? Don't panic and don't immediately drop your price. The second that you slash your rate, the moment someone flinches, you've taught them that your prices are made up. So you want to like hold that there. Instead, you do this. You don't cut the price, you cut the scope. So you'll say something like, I totally understand. Let's find something that works for your budget. We could do 2 videos instead of 3, or keep it to organic usage for now and add paid usage later if it performs well. What works best on your end? So you see what that does? You protected your rate, you kept your value intact, and you gave them a smaller version. The per video price stays strong, and you didn't teach them that you fold under a little pressure. So your price then reflects your value and not how nervous you are. So honestly, sometimes the right answer is just a calm, friendly, like, I totally get it. I don't think I'm the right fit for this budget, but I'd love to stay in touch for future campaigns. And you walk away. Walking away from a too low deal is a power move, and it's allowed. The right brands will come back. And I've had that happen multiple times because they understand. You know, you're doing it as a business, it's your business, it's their business, like they get it. So move number 4, and this one's boring, but it saved me a lot of energy and money. Get everything in writing before you film a single second. In writing, you specify the deliverables, which is exactly how many videos and how long, the usage rights, which is organic or paid, which platforms it's going on, how long it's going to be on there for, how many revisions are included, and then I'd say 1 or 2. Anything beyond that costs extra. So 1 or 2 can be included in your base rate. Put that in writing so that you're not editing forever for free. And payment terms. When you get paid, and ideally 50% upfront or bigger for bigger projects. So like if you have a $2,000 project, try to get 50% upfront if you can. But all of that should be in writing before you even click record on your phone. A simple email both people agree to counts. But it does not have to be a scary legal document, but we set it on the call as not protection. Like you want something in writing so that you can refer back to it. Real quick though, red flags. Walk or proceed very carefully when you hear this. We'll pay you an exposure. Exposure doesn't pay rent. It doesn't pay the bills. A real brand with a product to sell has a budget. When they say something like, can you do it for free, or we'll definitely use you again for paid, that next time almost never comes. If they have a product and a marketing budget, they can pay you now. Or a brand wanting full, forever, own it anywhere rights for a tiny one-piece price. That's them knowing the value of usage and hoping that you don't, but you do now. So gifting can make sense when you're brand new and genuinely need a portfolio piece, or it's a product that you truly love and want anyway, like I mentioned before, that's a strategic choice that you make on purpose. It is completely different from a funded brand trying to get free labor out of you. So know the difference and make it a choice and never a default. So that's the playbook: numbers, multiplier, scripts. Let me hand you the templates so you don't have to remember all of this. So I see some questions in here. Let me see if there's any I didn't get to. Use in the raw. Is raw footage just on long video, or would it be multiple videos? Or just one long video? It depends. Like if you're doing B-roll and also like a talking to camera content for the brand, and say they want 5 B-roll clips, which if you're not familiar with what B-roll is, it's just like if I were to film this phone case, it would be like one shot of me filming it from my phone. That would be one B-roll clip. And then another one would be filming like me putting this on my phone for 6 seconds. That would be another one. And that in raw footage, those would be 2 different clips. And then a third one would be you talking to the camera with the script that they provided to you and not clipping it up at all. Like just sending that all to them raw. Thoughts on watermarking deliverables until you're paid in full? You could do that. Yeah, you can definitely watermark your deliverables until you're paid in full. But again, that's something that I would communicate with them in an email just so that they know kind of why there's a watermark on it. I heard you mention PayPal earlier. Is that a preferred method of payment for clients and creators? Yeah, PayPal. So the methods of payment that I receive from brands, there's a couple. There's PayPal, there's Wise, there's Bill.com, there's direct deposit, and yeah, those are the ones I use. PayPal is a huge one for UGC. Do you ask for 50% paid before you send the video to the brand? You can. Like, I don't always get 50% before. And if you don't, you'll have like set payment terms. Like some brands will do like net 15, net 30, or net 60. But you just want to make sure before you deliver anything to a brand that you know exactly how much you're getting paid, what you're creating for them, when you're going to be getting paid, and how. So does a simple email that both agree to count as a contract? If you're more comfortable, you can ask them to create a contract for you to look over, or you can create one yourself. But like that just adds as an extra protective layer. So I would recommend to have contracts in place on top of having the email. But having it in an email does also help because it's both in writing there too. But that does, like, they could still ghost you if you don't have like a legal binding entity. Does that make sense? Where you both have signed it and you're both like, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing, kind of thing. Okay. So I am going to provide you guys with a PDF, another one after this call, but it's a PDF with everything in it from tonight. So you've got my 3-tier rate card template. You literally fill in your numbers, and you've got a professional rate card to send to brands. The usage rights cheat sheet that I showed you in the beginning, the whole multiplier framework, plus the organic versus paid breakdown, and the perpetual rights explainer, so you never have to do the math from memory on a call, and the negotiation scripts word for word, what to say when they ask for your rate, what to say when it's too high, let them go first line, all of it, copy paste for you to send. And here's a big one. There's a rate calculator that I made in Google Sheets that you can plug in your experience level, your niche, your monthly income goal. It tells you exactly what to charge per deliverable and how many videos a month you need to hit your number. So that 5K a month goal that you typed in earlier, or 10K, the calculator will turn it into an actual plan. So you don't just have to be guessing. And Like I said, I will put all that in the Slack channel and also in the email so that you'll have them twice. One rule though, when you use the card, do not, it's been a long day. Do not undercut the numbers that we talked about tonight just because you're nervous. Because if that's where you're starting from, like you want to start building up from a strong foundation. So start out strong, even if you don't feel the most confident. That's totally normal. That's what I want you to do from the beginning. The whole point is to stop doing that, to stop, cut it right now. Like, we're all going to be nervous. I get it, but don't show it. Does that make sense? Trust the ranges, trust the floor. $75 is the floor. Remember, that's what we're starting from. Let me see these questions here. Thank you for sharing those in the PDF. Oh, of course. Of course, you guys. I put all this together so that it would be very helpful and very simple for you guys, because I know this whole thing could be so overwhelming. So again, please drop any questions that you have here. We have 9 minutes left, so I want to go over them. But everything that we're doing tonight, the rate card, the usage framework, the pitch system from day 4, that's core of what's inside my starter course and my pro course. That's everything all in one place. And tonight you're getting basically the heart of it for free, but those deep dive more into all of this stuff. And that's something that you have access to for life. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But homework before day 12, which is this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the last stretch before that. So the homework is build your rate card. Use the template and the calculator and the handout that I'll give to you. Fill in your 3 tiers: single package, retainer. Do that after this call tonight if you can, or tomorrow. You need it ready before your next brand replies, so you want to make sure that's prepared. I need to drink some water. We'll go over the second one in a minute. Drop any more questions that you have in the chat. I see some coming through now. I see 2 new questions. Oh, 3. There we go. Drop the cues. Let me know. Happy to help. Okay, the second one. This is the second thing for your homework I want you to do. Calculate your number. Plug your income goal into the calculator and find out exactly how many videos a month gets you there. Make it real. Like, make a plan and not a wish, okay? The third thing is to keep pitching and hold your rates. Stay true and strong to those rates. When a brand asks, what's your rate? You let them go first, give 3 tiers, and you don't undercharge. You have the numbers now, so make sure to use them. The fourth thing here is show up on Friday for day 12. That is going to be our 4th call, our graduation call from the first free UGC Live challenge that we're doing. And it's going to be a big one. We're pulling everything together: portfolio, pitching, pricing, into your full game plan to actually do this. And I've got something to share at the end that a lot of you have been asking about, so you don't want to catch that one on replay. You want to be there live, so just keep that in mind. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you want my personal eyes on your portfolio, your rates, your pitching, just your entire strategy as a whole, I do have a written audit. That is what it's for. You basically send me your rate card, your portfolio, and I'll tell you exactly what you need fixed, exactly why you may not be hitting the goals that you want, why you're not getting the replies that you want. It's totally optional. It's just there if you want a shortcut. I can drop that in this chat as well as the Slack too. But it just allows me to get more personalized eyes on your entire strategy, where you're at, everything. I did it for a creator a week ago, and she found it extremely helpful because I broke down every single video in her portfolio, her entire pitch, her rates, and also her own social media strategy, because she mentioned that that's something that she wants to utilize and implement into like her UGC journey. So if that is something that you're interested in, let me know. We have some questions here that I do want to go over. Let's see. Do you always send a contract over or only for a larger project? I've worked on some that haven't had a contract, but I would recommend to have one in place, and it doesn't have to be just for a larger project. Like it could just be for one video. If that answers your question. Like if you're just doing one organic video, you can have a contract. If you're doing a 3-month retainer for 5 videos a month, you can have a contract too. I don't think it matters on the scope, like how big it is. You can, like, if you mention to the brand, like, I would feel more comfortable if we had a contract, they would totally understand. Yeah. What about on apps where they set the rates? That's a different thing. Like, for me, talking about all of this is specifically when you're like cold pitching in email or DM. The apps kind of make it hard because they're like fixed. And those are a great way to get more experience. And some people do have seen a lot of success with the apps. I do think that you can, but a lot of the time those are fixed rates. So if you're trying to get retainers or other things, like cold pitching is a great way to do that, because you're having a conversation with the brand directly versus those apps. There's a buffer, you don't really, since it's so fixed, it's hard. Is it better to use apps or go directly cold pitch to brands? I think I just answered that question with what I just said. Are contracts legally binding just from both people signing, or do you need attorneys? No, you don't need to have attorneys or notary. Did I miss the PDF? I will be sharing the PDF in the Slack after this. Where do you get a contract done? A lot of the times the brands will send it to me. Yeah. But I think you can have, I would have to look that one up. I think you can have, I would just ask them to put one together for you, have a look at it, because most of the time a brand will send it to me. Yeah. And then you can put it into ChatGPT and just be like, dissolve this align with what we spoke about in the email, make sure everything looks okay before you sign anything. Okay. Can I pitch with 3 videos, or should I wait for all 6? You can start pitching with 3, and then as you're pitching more and more, I would just add more examples to it. Yeah, you can start, because sometimes it does take a little while for brands to get back. Like from the time where you start pitching to the time where they actually will say like, okay, this is good to go, it usually will take like a week or 2 to 3 weeks. Like it's not the shortest thing all the time. Do you have a system or apps of how to keep track of cold pitches? Do you have a system / apps of how to keep track of cold pitches, waiting for responses, waiting? Bento. I use Bento and I love Bento. It is a great platform to utilize for cold pitching, to find brands to reach out to set up campaigns. They have a system in there also that will look at your template and will also like grade it out of 10 and let you know what part of it you need to improve on. So that is great. Can I pitch without mentioning or linking a UGC Instagram? You can. Yeah, you can. I would just make sure that you have examples, like your portfolio. Have I heard of Notion? I have. I don't use it much myself, but brands a lot of time will send me briefs through Notion. Like scripts, all that information through there. Okay, we are about at time. So I appreciate you guys so much for showing up today. I know it's a Monday night. So that's very cool that you guys are here learning about UGC. That's so awesome. The reason that most talented creators stay broke in UGC, it's not skill. It's that nobody ever taught them what you learned tonight and the other nights, like the numbers, the usage multiplier, how to say the price without flinching. And you have that now. I'm going to send that PDF over after this call. So the next time a brand asks, what's your rate? You're not going to panic. You're going to know exactly what you're worth. And you're going to say it like it's nothing, because it is nothing. It's just the value on the table where it belongs. So what I need you to do before Friday's call is to build that rate card, calculate your number, and keep sending pitches. But this time, hold your rates. Okay? Drop any wins that you have in the Slack the second that a brand replies. I want to be able to celebrate those wins because those are awesome. Let's see. Okay, no more questions. I will see you guys on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the graduation call. Keep a lookout in the Slack chat and in your emails. And again, I appreciate you so much for being here, and I will see you guys on Friday.